distinguished Minister of Foreign Affairs Osmani, distinguished friends and partners, ambassadors of NATO member states to our country, distinguished Ambassador of Ukraine Larissa Dir, our dear welcome and special guests at this traditional working meeting with the ambassadors of the member states of the Alliance. Dear attendees, dear media, dear citizens, being prepared to defend security means being prepared to safeguard peace. That is why NATO is a security organization and the largest military political alliance. But before all, NATO is the shield of the one thing without which nothing else is possible, and that is peace. In the capacity of a country that met its 30-year-long strategic goals and for 3 years has been a NATO member country, I can only convey this message. The feeling of not being alone is unparalleled. To be in a family of democratic people and countries functioning on the principle of one for all and all for one. In times when the world in the 21st century faced the completely unreasonable and unscrupulous aggression of the Russian Federation over a sovereign and independent country, Ukraine, all eyes are on NATO. Joining NATO is the exit of uncertainty and entrance into safety. That is why it is our crucial importance for NATO's open door policy to persist for the countries of the European continent that share such aspirations. The Republic of North Macedonia knows well what it means to live in such concern, to be in the military surrounding, while the rest of the countries of former Yugoslavia fought, to seek a way to protect a domestic peace, to seek a way to protect your identity, to protect your church, to protect your language. And that is why, when you see the stenograms of the government sessions of the government of North Macedonia, you will see that all the decisions were made within a total of 5 minutes. Because we know the best way what for Ukraine is fighting. And at the end, Ukraine will win. And we did succeed because all of us together, Macedonians, Albanians, Turks, Serbs, Vlachs, Romas, and Bosniaks, stood behind determination to safeguard our peace. That is how we know the importance of unity. And what is NATO if it is not unity? The single way to save world peace is to unite around the need of restoring peace in Ukraine. It is more than necessary in this surrounding when tanks have returned to European soil from the times of the conventional war that was considered as past. In times when the world is faced with weapons of future, hybrid threats, and fake news as part of the challenging information war, to which also we can and must oppose with close and coordinated activities. I could have started this address with several tangible benefits for our country from our NATO membership, and will reflect on them briefly. But as I said, if we have peace, we can do anything. If there is no peace, nothing is possible. In the current geopolitical context, and taking into consideration the regional stability that today is on the highest possible level, but with challenges that Europe is facing, it is good that North Macedonia is a NATO member. And we are a country that is making serious steps towards the European integration, which is good and expected. NATO membership, the concept of one society at home, the commencement of negotiations with the European Union, and the bold statesmanship decisions that protected the identity features and the national identity made North Macedonia today a factor of stability in the Western Balkans. And it is clear that the Euro-Atlantic orientation of the region is well needed in the function of European peace and stability of the prosperity. What does NATO membership mean for the citizens of North Macedonia? It suffices to point out the fact that FDIs last year reached, in a crisis year, 753 million euros, historical highest of the country, double compared to 2016. The Republic of North Macedonia is no longer a country of cheap labor. In the past few years, in the technological industrial development zones, over 10,000 jobs were opened, well-paid jobs with average salaries well above the state average salary. Foreign investors want safety. Today, we are making North Macedonia a green energy hub of Europe. Only last year, we built new power plants with a capacity of over 152 megawatts for the production of electricity from renewable energy sources. And by the end of this 2023, the Macedonian energy system is expected to install about 300 megawatts of photovoltaic power plants through investments with our partner countries from US and Europe, and with the assistance of multilateral financial institutions and bilateral creditors. I am sincerely glad, and on behalf of the citizens of North Macedonia, I would like to thank for seeing a credible and dignified partner in our country, a part that has an equal place on the alliance's table, being its 30th member state. I know that we are aware of what it means to be fully and without reservations immediately on the line of the shared and foreign security policy of the European Union when it comes to the situation in Ukraine. They say everything comes with a price, but we try as government with the set of measures we made and are still making, and with the support of the European Union to protect the standard of the citizens, because everything has a price, except for the peace. Peace has no price. North Macedonia is a country, and as a member state, actively contributes toward the collective security of the alliance. We've shown this with the long-standing participation in NATO-led missions, missions led by the EU and by the United Nations. Krivolak is the place for the development of interoperability used by NATO alliance. The defense budget is continuously growing. Compared to 2022, we increased it again despite the crisis. And we remain on our plan the defense budget to reach 2% of the gross domestic product by the end of 2024. We respect the values of NATO member states: democracy, freedom, rule of law, and compliance with public debate. We have shown significant progress in these areas for the past few years. We are tracing the path for the current and future generations. NATO membership proved to be the right decision at the right moment. We secured our perspectives and our safety as a successful, strategic, patriotic step at the right time, and the present is the best proof of that. I recall on 2 conversations I had the very first night of the attack of Russia on Ukraine. In the middle of the night, the Prime Minister of Ukraine called me. And he told me, in few hours the attack will start. Then he said, are you sure? He said, we are hearing clearly the roaring of the tanks on the border. The very next morning, the first meeting I had was with the Ukrainian ambassador, the former Ukrainian ambassador. She came to my office. She had tears in her eyes, and he slammed with her hand in my table and she said, "Dear Prime Minister, we will win. That is why we are on the same ship, and we must act in unity and solidarity for the defense and advancement of peace and prosperity in the world. We are NATO, and we will help, support, and win with Ukraine. Thank you.